Hello everyone, this is Rithun question from CKF, and today we'll be going over USACO 2024 US Open Contest Bronze, Problem 1, Logical Moos. Let's first start off by reading the problem. Farmer John has a Boolean statement that is n keywords long. Only true or false appear in odd positions, and only and or appear in even positions. A phrase of the form x operator y, where x and y are either true or false, an operator is and or evaluates as follows. X and y. This evaluates to true if both x and y are true and false otherwise. For x or y, this evaluates to true if x or y is true and false otherwise. In other words, in the AND statement, if there's one false, the entire statement will equal to false. In the OR statement, if there's one true, the entire statement equals true. When evaluating the statement, FJ has to take some order of precedence in Wu language into account. Similar to C++, AND takes priority over OR. More specifically, to evaluate a statement, repeat the following step until the statement consists of only one keyword. If a statement contains an AND, choose any of them and replace a phrase surrounding it with its evaluation. Otherwise, the statement contains an OR. Choose any of them and replace the phrase surrounding it with its evaluation. It may be proven if multiple phrases can be evaluated during a given step. It does not matter which one is chosen. The statement will always evaluate the same value. FJ has Q queries. In each query, he will give you two integers, L and R, and deletes a segment from keyword L to R inclusive. In turn, he wishes to replace the segment he just deleted with just one simple true or false, so the whole statement evaluates a certain Boolean value. Help FJ determine if this is possible. Let's first start off by reviewing a sample input. Here, our first input is 5 and 7. 5 represents the amount of phrases in this line. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 7 represents the amount of phrases here. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's start by analyzing the first two lines. If we were to replace and delete the segment 1 to 1 and replace it with true, then the whole statement becomes true and true or true. So we go from the first phrase to the first phrase, which only invalidates to this one, and replace it with true. That becomes true and true or true. And we have to evaluate the AND first, so we get true and true equals true. So we get true or true, and that evaluates to true. But it doesn't work because he wants false. So what if we replace with false instead? It can be shown that if you replace a segment with false, the statement will still evaluate to true. This is because if you replace it false, you do false and true, which will equal to false, and then false or true will be true. So we output n. If it works, we output y. Okay, now let's try to simplify the problem. Instead of having false and true or true, let's have F, A, T, O, T. This is to make the string shorter and easier to read. Same for all these values as follows. Another way to simplify a statement is we don't have to input true and false. If we want true, we have to always input true. If we want false, we always have to input false. This is because if we want false, there has to be a false, and if we want true, there has to be a true statement. Let's start over by going over my code. First, I imported array list. This is because we're going to be taking the phrases and deleting some segments and adding one. And we also import a scanner so we get the inputs. We made a console and got the first line. Then I made a string to int because we took it as a string. And over here, I took all the way to the first space and converted this line to an int and stored it in n. After that, I took the second value after the space and stored it in q. Then I created an array of 2, length 2, and put both values. And I returned the array into this array. And I again store the values into n and q. Next, I took in phrase, the next line. And since we want to only have the first letter, we went over until there's space and only took the first index. And after that, we deleted everything before the space. In the end, we have to add an extra value here because after spaces, all of this is gone and the loop stops. But we still want this value, so we have to put it an extra line of code here. Next, I created 3 more array lists because we want to have a value for this, the first index, second index, and desired value. Next, we took the next line of console and added all the way until the next space. Then we deleted the string, and add until the next space, and so on. Now we have all the desired values, first index and second indexes. Then I created a loop all the way until the length of how many times we're looping over the thing, and created a new array list because we don't want to, since we're going to be updating format, we don't want to lose format values since it's going to be changed and you're passing through a method. After you pass it through a method, we have a format adding into the new format list so things don't get changed when updating it. Then we removed all the values from the first index to second index. We have to do this first index minus 1 because in Java and other coding languages, the first index starts as 0, not 1. Then we added the desired value. Now, first we have starting with A because A takes priority over OR. And if either side equals to false, the whole statement equals false. But if it doesn't find a false, it equals true. Then we remove all 3 values and replace it. And we keep looping over. After that, we have to solve for the ORs. If we find any truths, the final value will be equal to true. But if we find no truths, the final value equals false. The final value equals the desired value, we output Y, but if it doesn't, we output N. And that is it for today, and thank you for listening. We have this code stored in our decoded backlogs, and I'll see you in the next video.